Hello. I'm George from Corrido.eu. Today we will talk about the 3 stages of money laundering and their impact on businesses. What is money laundering and why is it matters? In its most basic definition, the act of money laundering is characterized by the intentional concealment or distortion of the source of proceeds that have been illicitly obtained to create the impression that the funds were derived from lawful sources. Money laundering entails a course of action whereby funds originating from unlawful activities such as drug trafficking, bribery, or fraud are obscured from their source. The 3 main stages of money laundering. 1. The placement stage. Illicit funds can be integrated into the financial system either directly or indirectly. In the placement stage, the most common technique used is the fragmentation of large sums of money into smaller, less conspicuous amounts, which can be deposited into one or multiple bank accounts using the smoothing technique. Money service businesses are often utilized to execute smoothing. Other placement methods include: false invoicing involves creating invoices for non-existing goods or services to overcharge or charge for services that were never provided. Blending illegal money with legitimate money. Buying foreign currency involves converting large amounts of illegal money into a different currency, which can then be deposited into foreign bank accounts or used to purchase assets in other countries. Purchasing securities or insurance using cash. Gambling and betting on sports events. 2. The layering stage. The process known as layering denotes the complex set of actions aimed at severing the illicit origin of money and further masking its source by creating multiple layers of transactions to obfuscate the trail of an audit. This sophisticated practice serves the purpose of concealing the provenance of illegally gained assets by confounding their detection and tracking. 3. The integration stage. The central goal of this stage is to integrate the money into the economy without raising suspicion or drawing the attention of law enforcement agencies. To accomplish this objective, criminals may acquire assets such as real estate, artwork, precious jewelry, or high-end vehicles, among other possibilities. These types of assets can serve to legitimize the previously illicitly obtained capital, as they can be perceived as having been acquired through lawful means. Money laundering poses a significant threat to businesses, resulting in a host of adverse consequences such as revenue loss, damage to reputation, and regulatory penalties in the millions of dollars or suspension of licenses. Furthermore, the socioeconomic repercussions of money laundering are far-reaching and damaging, with global effects such as the perpetuation of corruption and escalation in criminal activity, erosion of foreign investor confidence, widening income inequality, and a slowdown in economic growth. These effects are particularly concerning as they can compound and exacerbate pre-existing economic and social issues, creating further destabilization and harm. Unchecked money laundering also carries the potential for negative macroeconomic consequences, such as inexplicable changes in the demand for money, prudential risks to the soundness of banks, contamination effects on legitimate financial transactions, and increased volatility of international capital flows and exchange rates due to unforeseen cross-border asset transfers. Furthermore, successful money laundering rewards corruption and crime, damaging the integrity of society as a whole, undermining democracy, and compromising the rule of law. The potential social and political repercussions of unaddressed or poorly managed money laundering are grave. Organized crime can penetrate financial institutions, seize control of significant portions of the economy through investment, or bribe public officials and even governments. The economic and political sway of criminal organizations can erode the social fabric, shared ethical norms, and, ultimately, the democratic institutions of society. In nations transitioning to democratic systems, criminal influence can undermine the transition. At its core, money laundering is inextricably linked to the criminal activity that spawned it. By laundering funds, criminal activity is allowed to persist. To ensure the safety of businesses and prevent financial crime, a comprehensive anti-money laundering compliance program must be implemented. Such a program should clearly define the procedures for detecting, assessing, and reporting suspicious financial activities. The following measures are key components of an effective anti-money laundering program. 1. Customer due diligence. 2. Enhanced due diligence. 3. Ongoing customer monitoring. 4. Independent anti-money laundering audits. 5. Transaction monitoring. If you have any questions about anti-money laundering, contact us on corrido.eu and get a consultation.